Hey, if you're looking for some sort of change in your homeschooling experience, you've come to the right place. But at first, I want to paint a picture for you. Imagine you've just spent the night trying to research, say, flowers and the different parts of the flower. And you even lost sleep over this because you want to make sure you had the perfect lesson for your kids in the morning. So you're super excited when you wake up. You bring all your different supplies to the table and you ask your kids to come on over because you're going to start homeschool. And all you're met with is kids moaning and just like, oh, I was doing this already, or I want to play Legos. Any sort of excuse that they could come up with because they're not excited to come to the table and do your learning for the day. And then you realize that as you're going through the lesson, you have children, picking at their shoes, looking up at the ceiling, laying their head on the table, right? Because they're just acting as if they're totally bored, uninterested. And the next thing you know, your toddler's in the kitchen, dumping oatmeal all over the floor. And after you jump up and clean up that whole mess, you come back to realize that all of the children have scattered to the different places of the house, leaving you completely dejected and feeling disappointed about the homeschooling day and just about ready to throw in the towel. So, this might not be an exact scenario to something that you've experienced, but it's probably close to something and probably brings up feelings of disappointment, annoyance, anger, all the type of emotions you could possibly have because things aren't going quite as you planned. So I want you to think, though, that there's many different ways that homeschooling could look. And if you are new to homeschooling or you've been trudging on for a while and now you've suddenly met or, come head on with one or two kids that aren't quite like your first ones, you might be ready for a change or to rethink how you're homeschooling. So, first thing I want you to think about is, what is your final goal? What is the purpose or the reason why you started homeschooling in the first place? Stephen Covey has a great quote, and it's "Start with the end in mind." So I want you to think about, what is your end goal? What do you want for your children spiritually, physically, emotionally, educationally, any of the leaves that you can think of? I want you to take out a piece of paper and write these things down. I want you to think about, did you bring them home because you're hoping to give them a more, rooted experience in the religion that you have? Was it because they academically had fallen so far behind you could only imagine that they are going to be graduating high school with a second grade reading level? Did you bring them home because they're having issues with bullying and you want to build them up and help them feel awesome about who they are? So I want you to take out a piece of paper and write everything down. Again, these are areas to think of: spiritually, academically, socially, physically, emotionally, and any other categories you can think of. This is going to help you shape the homeschooling environment that you are hoping to create for your children. Taking them out of the public school system and just recreating at home is only going to produce the same thing. I mean, granted, if they were being picked on or bullied or had a teacher that wasn't nice to them, obviously you removed them from that situation. But for all you know, some of those same experiences you could also just be recreating at home. If they're feeling like they're falling short in reading and math, and they were feeling that way at school, and you're just continuing that at home, the child's going to be having the same deep emotions at home that they were there. So that isn't much of a change. If they were socially awkward and you're hoping to help that out or fix it, again, if you're just creating the same experience at home that they had at school, you're pretty much just repeating and emulating what you didn't want them in, if they're behind, academically and such. And sometimes, especially when you're bringing them out of school because you feel like they're behind and the only thing you can think about is them being caught up and being at grade level, there's probably going to be the same deep emotions just being repeated at home. And it's not going to fix the root problem. And it's not going to create children who love learning. So make sure you take out this piece of paper. I want you to do this right now, or set a timer on your phone for exactly when you plan on doing this, because you want to be thinking, are you wanting your children, is your goal that they're going to go off to an Ivy League school? Is your goal that they're going to be happy people as adults? Is your goal that they're going to be productive adults in society, that they'll be able to provide for a family? Is it that they'll have a life rooted in Christ? Is it that you're wanting them to be able to be a leader and lead, or be entrepreneurs? These are all big things to think of, because if you're wanting your children to be creative entrepreneurs, then that is going to take different steps than if your goal is for them to pass the ACT or SATs and just get to an Ivy League. I shouldn't say just. That's a big thing. But very different outcomes, okay? So do that. That is the first step for you to take steps toward a change in your homeschool, to create the homeschooling environment that you are wanting, and to give yourself a more relaxed feeling when you do your home education.